Shawn Hammond with PremierGuitar.com, and I'm here today to show you three really cool guitars we got in the office here that were a pretty rare opportunity to get. They're from Teuffel Guitars, and we have a profile on Uli Teuffel, the builder of these instruments, in our January 2012 issue. We couldn't pass up the opportunity that Jamie Gale, the North American distributor for Teuffel, gave us when he said he could send us all three Teuffel models. The Niwa here, we've got the Tesla, and the Birdfish. And we just wanted to show you all the amazing handcrafted details and let you hear them a little bit. One of the most remarkable things you notice is the shape, of course, and the Niwa here has a truly remarkable shape with its hand-carved alder. It's got this sort of valley in here that's very futuristic and yet somehow sort of organic too. I'll just show you the carve of it first, and then we'll talk about some of the actual details after that. Let me just flip it over a little more. So beyond the shape of the guitar, one of the really unique things about Teuffel guitars is the finish. It is this matte finish that looks almost soft, like rubber or, I don't know, sponge or something. It's not. It's a genuine alder body, but it's great. It doesn't show fingerprints or sweat marks or anything like that, and it's just really nice. Although in our profile, Uli does tell us that he thinks someday he may get back into more traditional glossy finishes, but I think these are really cool. As far as hardware, just about the only thing on Teuffel guitars that isn't handmade and designed by Uli, for now at least, are the bridges. And this is a Wilkinson tremolo bridge here. One of the really cool things about this design is around back. Here you'll see that inside the tremolo cavity, which is always uncovered, which makes it easy to make adjustments on the fly during a gig or just whenever. This little wood piece right here can be flipped around, and it locks into a groove in the tremolo block to keep it from warbling if you bump it or rest your hand on it too much and make it go out of tune. We've got a Shaler Sure Claw tremolo spring attachment, which as you can see is much more heavy duty and much better anchored than what you see in a lot of guitars with tremolos. It's just beautiful, the carve of the neck cavity here, and it's a 3-bolt design. For the 3 pickups we have a volume control, tone control, and a 5-way rotary selector. The unique thing about this circuit, first off, is the tone control has a push-pull mechanism. When it's in the up position, it always engages only the bridge pickup. So if you're the kind of guy who spends a lot of time soloing on the bridge pickup, you can have a rhythm setting and then hit this to go to the solo, and boom, you're right there. When it's in the down position, whatever is selected here is engaged. And the positions here in the completely counterclockwise position, you've got the neck pickup. If you click it one more time, you've got the neck and middle pickups. And then again, you have neck and bridge. Next position, you have the middle pickup. And the next one, you've got bridge and middle. So the pickups in the Niwa are 3 split coil designs. There's one coil that picks up the top 3 strings and another offset coil that picks up the bottom 3 strings. That's the same design in all pickups, although the bridge pickup is a little hotter than the others. All of them use Alnico 5 and Alnico 8 magnets. If you're a pickup aficionado or a magnet guru, you'll notice that Alnico 8 is pretty unusual. But this guitar has a pretty hot sound, and yet it's still pretty vintagey. And so it's sort of like a hi-fi vintage, I think. Moving up from the pickups up the neck, we've got the main portion of the neck is made of alder, just like the body. You can check out the grain there as you move up. On the back of the headstock, you'll notice that the Goto tuners are recessed in a way that's just it's just so cool to see. You know, these precision milled slots where they fit in just perfectly. The fretboard is actually Pau Ferro, and there are no position markers on the fretboard. However, on the side, you'll see that there are two-tone dots. There's a dark ring around the white inner portion. And one of the really cool things about these is that the white inner portion is actually a phosphorescent material that will glow on a dark stage. You can see there's a low friction nut up here to help keep the guitar in tune, and it does stay in tune wonderfully. So that's pretty much the Niwa, so let's hear it. Okay, so next up we have the Teuffel Tesla Studio, which has another very distinctive shape that I think is really cool, and it's sort of a charcoal matte finish. And we'll just run through the features here. Other than the shape and the finish, you notice that it has this cool little leg rest here, which works really well when you're sitting down playing. And it's got a standard 5-way selector switch that is really sturdy. Like some switches on some guitars, you can sort of bend it. I mean, not like, you know, but, you know, you can feel a little give in it, and this is pretty strong. You got volume and tone here. 3 split coil pickups like on the Niwa. The bridge pickup is a little hotter than the others. You got a Tune-o-matic style bridge here, and your tuners are down here right behind that, sort of Steinberger style. And the body is made of alder like the Niwa. Teuffel usually uses alder in the bodies, although on the next guitar we show you there will be some options we'll talk about. The input and the strap button. Beautifully sculpted here, just such a smooth, gradual incline in the sculpt there. The neck is bird's eye maple, and it joins the body at the 7th fret. And it is an adjustment for playing for players like me who, maybe it's incorrect, but I do it, but wrap their thumbs around the neck a lot. So that does take some adjusting when you're playing in the upper registers, but it can be done. You can just rest on this part or whatever. And flip it over again here. Like on the Niwa and the Birdfish that we're going to talk about in a second, just looking at the hardware close up, there are no sharp corners like in a lot of instruments, even some guitars that are pretty nice. A lot of times if you get down here to ends like that, or on the Niwa, which had the headstock there, even on the nut, the locking nut, there's no sharp corner to go hurt yourself on when you reach down there. Same down here on the bridge. It's not like they're sanded, so you can tell they're sanded, but everything is just nice and comfortable. One of the interesting things about the locking nut here on the Tesla Studio is that it has some very precise small stainless steel screws that Uli sources from a precision shop, because he says they're pretty pricey in order to make this thing stay in tune really well. He says they cost more than some import guitars. So another cool thing on all the guitars that I'll mention here is the two-way truss rod. You adjust it here with the tools that are included with every Teuffel. He includes this set of hex wrenches with each guitar, and you just insert it in there and you can adjust it like the standard truss rod. One of the really cool things is that the truss rod only weighs 1.7 ounces, so it's not contributing to the weight of the guitar at all. So let's hear this baby. Okay, so the last guitar we've got from Teuffel today is the Birdfish, and it's actually his first design since he moved on from more traditional stuff in the 80s and 90s. Back in the 80s and 90s, he was doing some really nice Strat and Les Paul style guitars, as well as some sort of super Strat style guitars too. And you can see those in the feature that we've got in the January 2012 issue. But this is the one that really grabbed people's attention around the world, and you've probably seen it in some pictures. It's called the Birdfish because Uli Teuffel calls these two aluminum pieces here the bird and the fish. And they're hand sculpted out of solid aluminum, and they support the whole guitar, and everything is attached to them. The control box down here swivels on there. I'll show you that more in a second when I flip it back around front, but you're probably wondering about these wires here, which go to the pickups that you can take out and adjust really easily. The guitar comes with these 3 pickups installed, but it also comes with 2 other pickups, including a couple of humbucker options. This one actually is a humbucker, I believe, and you can tell it's a little bit bigger. So earlier you probably saw this center strip that the pickup clamps attached to, and it even has measurements on it, so you could be very precise about where you place the pickups. But if you notice, you can very easily slide them along this piece of aluminum. And then if you want to swap one out for one of the others, you just unplug it, unscrew this, and it comes out of this little channel here. Let's screw that a little more, and there you go. Grab another one, swap it in, and retighten that. The shaft on the attachment part is has a grade, like a flat part on one side, to help you make sure you get it in the right spot. I'm just going to put this down a little bit more so it's not so close to the strings. Retighten it. Plug the Teflon cable back in. If I can see it. There we go. And there we go. So, of course, that opens up myriad options for tones on this thing. You can move the bridge pickup closer to the bridge if you want a little bit thinner, twangier sound. And same with the neck pickup. You can go closer to the neck to get a fatter, more corpulent sound. Move it away from the neck a little bit to retain the fatness but get a little more definition. So those are the pickups. You'll notice the same sort of bridge that we saw on the Tesla. So we have this aluminum housing with a 5-way selector switch on it. And this is the tone control. You got volume here. And as I mentioned earlier about the tools, you can use a hex head wrench here to adjust the angle of this whole control section. These two bars are what Uli calls the tone bars, and they're made of wood. These two are red alder, like the other instruments, but the guitar we got also came with 2 maple tone bars, and you can also get, you can custom order mahogany or other types of wood. Around back we've got a bird's eye maple neck. It's got the 3-bolt construction, again on the aluminum there. I have the same sort of locking nut down here and the phosphorescent side markers. So let's hear what this thing can do. One of the really cool things about the Teuffel guitars is just the cases. There are a lot of nice cases on the market, but these are super practical. As you can see inside, they are form-fitted with styrofoam around them that keeps them in place. And so they're well padded and protected. The exterior is it's a flight case, but it's super light, and it's got built-in wheels in the bottom, as you can see there. So that makes it handy for if you're going through the airport and want to throw it in an overhead bin, because I think these would, the smaller ones, at least the Birdfish and the Tesla, would probably fit in an overhead compartment if you can get an airline to light you. And you know, just going to a gig, whatever. I never thought I'd be so gaga about a case. These are really cool, really light, handy, and easy to get around, and they protect the guitars really well. You can see that each also has a bunch of tools that come with it. As I mentioned earlier, you've got the hex wrenches, and there's a little set of mini screwdrivers and hand-signed instructions for how to operate each guitar or adjust it, or just particulars about the different appointments. You'll notice in the Birdfish's case there are a couple more tone bars. These two are made of maple, as you can see from the labels under the right-hand screw ferrule. And there are a couple more pickups there that you can swap out easily. Thanks for joining us to take a look at these 3 Teuffel guitars. We have the Birdfish here, we have the Niwa before that, and the Tesla Studio. Really cool guitars, and we hope that you'll go to read the full feature in the January 2012 issue of Premier Guitar. And to check out Teuffel guitars, go to Teuffel.com. That's Teuffel.com. Thanks again to Uli Teuffel and Jamie Gale at Jamie Gale Music. And again, thanks for watching PremierGuitar.com.